Hey y'all, hope you're doing great. We're coming from Breckenridge, Colorado, 2 days out from Leadville. Now, if you're going to notice, things aren't going to match up because it's way too noisy to do any vocals out here. So we're going to just do everything over PowerLine from here out. I've been really busy, so I haven't had any videos, but I really wanted to get one before the race. So, yeah, here we go. Let's bring it up. All right, here we are at the top of Powerline. We're going to do the full descent. We'll have a first section and then a second section. Um, the bike, leading up to this, I made a couple of changes. So we'll just go right out that off the bat. Running the Pirelli Scorpions, the RC, XC, the XCRC rather, the Pro Wall. I'm going to be running those at 22 pounds in the front, 23 in the back. I rode them a little bit hotter, a little bit harder through this, but I think I need a little more grip through those. And after this ride, I decided I also need a smaller chainring than a 34. 34 would be great for most of it, but Powerline climb, I'm assuming, but at the top of Columbine and some of the other climbs just got a little pitchy. And even though I could do them a lot of times at altitude, I was digging in a little bit hotter than I wanted to. Hitting about a 183 for a heart rate is about where I max out before I have to stop. I think I can break through, but definitely not on this. And we're about 3 days into altitude acclimation, which is one of the worst periods you can be at. I'll be about 15 days. Sorry, 15 days. That's not quite right. It'll be about 12 days. My buddies will be closer to 15 by the time we race. So we'll at least get some time at altitude to, acclimate, which is going to be pretty awesome. Glad that we had the opportunity to do that. So kind of cutting back, the past few weeks have been just nutty. If you're watching the videos from before, you see some of them are like, yeah, here's a quick update. I don't really have much to say because I'd love to cut video, but where do I find the time? And eventually that came into, well, I'm, I'm not even just going to take 2 minutes to put nothing up. It's not even worth it. I mean, in order to get training in, with the kids and everything, I'm riding my mountain bike 100 miles, 2 tournaments to see, my son play, so I'm not missing that. We're taking the trainer bike and I'm riding in hotel rooms for 3 hours, just trying to keep everything, squared away, trying to do, prepare the house for winter this year. We had a bunch of work to do. I'm working full time. That doesn't stop. I'm not a pro athlete or anything. It's the work-life balance and trying not to miss too much. This trip, I've missed way more than I'd like to. There's some great hikes that I would have loved to gone on. My dad and son went and fished at a glacial lake, but I figured, an all-day hike just wasn't in the cards this close to the race. Something like that can really kind of deplete you. And it's just hard to do everything all the time. So that's why I do have a bunch of film I'd like to cut in the future from Michigan. There's not a ton of really good stuff that came out of that trip. The trip was amazing. Absolutely loved it. I think it was a great warm up for the Margie in some aspects, and in others it was a big mistake. Um, I mean, the riding itself was great. The only thing is like when you're going into a race like that blind, or with, fuzzy memories of last year's race, a lot of stuff gets smoothed over, and stuff like riding Pine Knob and these black diamond, UP cross country trails. You remember how raw things are. And it's like, oh man, on a good day, that stuff's tough. Um, what's going to be like bussing through with, 600 and other, some people trying to get through these narrow sections. Same thing with, pre-riding here in Leadville. It's great getting to see these trails. GoPro does not do it justice. It's one of the reasons I put up, some of the altitude stuff so that you can kind of see what the descent looks like, and the speed. You don't get to see how pitchy or ruddy some of this stuff is. There are some just big rocks, loose soil, and big, washouts that you have to watch for. And on race day with a bunch of people, it's going to get kind of sketchy. The other part is, I did upgrade my bike this year, which I'm super stoked on. I put on those 180 millim rotors, with an aluminum carrier, and XT brakes, XT rather, cross country, the two pot. But even now, like with my ride size and stuff, they are um, just enough. At the end of the second half, we looked down and noticed they got so hot they turned blue. And it's partially technique, I know, but I'm, a decent sized rider. And one of the problems is with this pitchiness, as soon as you let off, you're out like a cannon. Your speed picks up pretty quick. You can see kind of some of those jagged edges when you hit some of those pitchier sections. So it was good to pre-ride, but I start to realize what lies ahead. You get up into the top of Columbine in the thin air. You start to viscerally understand what it's like to be up there, and sometimes it's nice to just not know. If I had to do it again, I'd still pre-ride, but it does put that in the back of your head. So that's kind of that. For going over race nutrition, this year I've gone back and forth with how I use nutrition. Admittedly, I'm fairly sloppy in training. I do like to eat stuff that I'm not going to eat on race day during training. A lot more solid foods. And I think it has to do with the intensity. When you're slowing down, you can eat granola bars and stuff like that. And at least I can and digest them. When I'm racing, I don't like to put a lot on my belly. So it's going to be a little bit different. Out here, I've been running more of what I'm going to do for race nutrition. So we'll run 2 concentrated bottles of sustained energy from Hammer Nutrition. They'll be 800 calories a piece. So I'll be running those. Actually, scratch that. They're 400 calories a piece, 800 calories I'll have on my bike with a hydro pack of water. So 2 bottles, and probably I'll carry a liter at a time. We have 2 sag stops, and since the race is an out and back, that means we'll get to stop 4 times, and I don't want to carry any more weight than a liter. The air is drier, and especially up Columbine, it's a 3,000-foot climb. You definitely have to remember to drink a lot, because if you're getting up to the top and you're feeling parched, which I was last time, even though I kept trying to drink, you're behind, and that's the halfway point. Granted, it's a little bit easier because that's the biggest climb and you get to descend down. But you're also looking up the top of this climb. PowerLine's definitely no joke. And the second half definitely has a section where most people walk it. I guess the pros can clean it, but for the rest of us mere mortals, it's more of a hike. So anyways, so we'll be running that, and then I'll probably carry some gels on me, and that should keep me we'll be between 8.5 and 12 hours. I really wanted to put a time mark on this race and say we're going to go sub 9. But I don't know. If it happens, it happens. I think it's a possibility. However, I don't want to keep watching the clock. I want to watch it to eat. I want to watch it just to have an idea of where I'm at. However, I don't want to keep marking time and trying to hammer through pushing a finishing time that may or may not be happening, to not enjoy the race. This is one of those bucket races where I wanted to run the 100 at one point, but my knees just don't, well, my ankles, really, my knees are better than my ankles these days. But they just don't like running, and they've been better, but I just don't know if that's something that I really want to push in the future. So mountain biking it is, and I enjoy the heck out of this. I think I'd rather bike than run anyways. So, yeah, so I think that's the majority of it. I don't really know what else to kind of say. It's been a heck of a journey to get to this point. I always enjoy the training more than anything. Being able to be out here with a couple of good friends, and train up and race something like this is truly a remarkable experience, by any regards. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm really kind of excited to just get out there and experience the whole event from start to finish. Tomorrow we're headed out to Leadville for the pre-race meeting. So, and then we'll probably just hang for the night, just a few of us, so that we don't have to worry about driving in the morning. And then race day. So 2 days out, it starts to get real, but that's the way it is. So for the rest of the video, I think I'm just going to leave you with it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If I can get to a follow-up video on the results in a little bit more in depth of the training, I would love to do that. So we'll see. If you definitely put some interest down there, I'll make it more of a priority. Otherwise, I've got all my logs and files sitting there for me to look back on, and the logs, the video logs for the journey. So also, if you can't see behind a log, don't jump it. I didn't realize there was a washout behind that tree until I was already committed. So, gosh, that was stupid. I'm definitely not going to do that during race day, or I'd like to avoid doing that during race day. We'll see what happens. Anyways, I'm going to leave you with the rest of the video. I'll throw the second half in there too, with no narrative, just because you can check it out. And have a great one. I'm excited to race, and I will toss up a follow-up video eventually. So thanks, everyone. Take care. thanks for watching. It's going to be a hell of a race. As you can tell, that run turned my brakes blue.